from the 1990s. Police giving an update just in the last minutes or so on who they've indicted for his murder. Chief Legal Analyst Khalif Rhodes is here now with more about the case, and what a bombshell that dropped this afternoon.
Bombshell for sure. I had opportunity to watch the press conference, and the first thing I could say is looking what the district attorney said. He said, oftentimes with the justice system, justice delayed is normally justice, not earned. And so he said, no, not here. We've done our job. We've always been attempting to do this. He wanted to commend the officers that put in the work over the years, 27 plus years. Now, his mother, Tupac's mother's obviously passed 2016, but for the rest of his family, his siblings, and the other individuals that have been affected by this around the world now have a little bit of justice, knowing that the individual is now behind bars.
Describe the investigation. As they said, obviously, this cold case, long arms of the law, taking a long time, but a lot of that broke basically in 2018 when the suspect admitted in himself as to being at the scene.
One thing they hit on today in the presser that I thought was great, they said at the time of the incident, maybe like a week later, we knew everything that we knew today. However, it wasn't until that 2018 interview, in the subsequent interviews after, Keefe D was very, very bold with the book release, press conferences all across the country, internet, Vlad TV and other institutions had him on there talking about not just his location at the time of the incident, but actually intricate details. And they said it lined up to specific evidence that they found. You add that on top of the not the raid, but the warrant that they had to search Keefe D's home about a few weeks back. Combining those two things with the 2018 interviews, I think that took it over the top. That allowed them to say, no, we have the evidence. This is our guy, and now everyone else is dead. There were 4 individuals in that car. The one that everyone at the time believed did it, Orlando, he was gone. 2 years later, he was killed. And so that was his cousin, his nephew. Because of that, I believe that they knew this was him. He just cooperated. We're in an era right now where folks, I've said it before with Trump, and with the Menendez case, your words have been used against you more times than ever before because of the internet and the access to individuals, more than any other time in history.
And still, it took even 5 years, 6 years or whatever, 5 years after 2018 to come to that. I remember this very well. Back in the 90s, there was the Selden-Tyson fight. I was standing at the Hard Rock when all this was going on this weekend. It was a huge deal that happened, but all the things that have happened with his legendary status. As a lawyer, when you look at this, does it come to full circle on how you can make this case come together and make this stick in court now?
The problem is that when you have an individual that doesn't listen to the advice of counsel, he did a proffer, which doesn't give you immunity to a case. It doesn't give you immunity for conviction. It says we won't use those statements that you make against you. That doesn't mean that someone else can't use the statements that you make against you. And it doesn't mean that information that you use outside of that sit down, that proffer, can't be used against you. That was the worst part. And I always tell my clients, I can beat the other evidence that's out there, but it's hard for me to beat the evidence that's you. Your words that you say against you are extremely hard to defeat.
Yeah, guilt consciousness, catharsis, or whatever it may be, or something like that after all these years. All right, Khalif, thanks for breaking it down for us. Well, as more starts to come out about this massive story, stay with us on QCnews.com, and be sure to download the QC News app, which sends those breaking news alerts straight to the palm of your hand. Jim?